Hey folks, welcome to this episode of Tanning with Tyler. So, last episode we did a budget hike, so we used super cheap gear. Now, for this episode, we are going the polar opposite. Everything you see here is super expensive. Now, you can compare my two videos and see what a cheap setup opposed to an expensive setup looks like. So it is getting to be mid-November, it is cold out. It has snowed and rained. It's been just absolutely nasty weather. We finally have a nice day. It is currently -2, which isn't too bad. It's supposed to drop quite a bit lower than that tonight, so it's going to be a chilly night. But we are going to hike up this ridge and a ways down and see what we can find. See if we can find a nice flat spot to camp, because I have got some new and exciting expensive gear to test out tonight. Can't wait to show you guys. Super excited. Anyways, let's get on up this hill and get this trip started. It is a lot of work going back and forth to grab that camera for the hike in. So I think we've got enough hike in footage. I'm gonna make some tracks, guys, and find a good campsite. So you've noticed probably my watch. So that is part of the expensive hiking gear. It's a Garmin Instinct 2X Solar GPS watch. So I've been using it for a couple months now, testing it out. It is pretty neat. As you saw, I saved my location at the car where I left. So I'm not too familiar with the area I'm camping in right now. So when I'm bushwhacking like this, you know, it's a lot easier than getting out my topo map and a compass. So I can save my start point, go wherever the hell I want, and then when I'm ready to head back to the car, load up the position that I saved, and the GPS will guide me to that location. Not only that, I can preload courses on all trails for, you know, Algonquin, Superior, any like major hike that is trail that you have to you know, pay to camp at. So I can upload those trails to my watch and get a step-by-step, this is where you are. It's pretty nifty, but again, that falls pretty expensive. This watch, if you're lucky, you can get on sale for about $450 like I did. Otherwise, it is usually $600 anywhere. So, goodbye. I'm liking it so far, but anyways, we are gonna get on deeper into the bush and I'll show you some more of my new gear. You know what? We're gonna call this a win. We haven't been hiking too far. We've done about 1.2 kilometers, so not too far. We're on top. of another ridge here. So you can see the ground is quite uneven, but there's this almost perfect spot right here between these two maple trees. There's definitely no dead branches or dead trees hanging around. This is going to be a great spot to pitch. It's going to be pretty windy up here. That's okay though. We're going to get a fire going later on and get all toasty, so not too bad. Anyways, first on the docket. Cheers, folks. Oh yeah, worth the wait. So my total pack weight, excluding my beer, was 27.5 pounds. Now that is not heavy, but it's not light. Now I brought some luxury items that you could totally do without if you're on a long hike. I brought a chair, I brought my Solostove Campfire. That itself is about 3.2 pounds, so absolutely not necessary. I like having it with me in areas like this where I don't want to build a fire pit on the ground because I don't want to start a root fire and burn the whole damn forest down. So I do carry it with me when I'm out for day hikes, overnight hikes, just so I can have a nice, safe fire. Anyway, 27.5 pounds. A lot of that is my pack too, which we'll talk about in just a minute. I'm gonna have a couple sips of this beer and enjoy the sounds of airplanes, apparently. So before I get crazy here and unpack too many things, I'll tell you about the pack I brought with me. So, the pack I'm using today is the Osprey AG50. So AG stands for anti-gravity. Now, it is considered one of the most comfortable packs on the market. I haven't used enough of the others to even validify that statement. I don't know if it's true or not, but it always makes top 10 lists and people rave about this pack. I've been using it for about 2 years, and I will tell you this, it is heavy, but it is comfortable. So being anti-gravity AG, the whole backpack harness system, as you can see here, is mesh. So it is super breathable. Your back is never really in contact with the inner side of the pack, so it's very, very comfortable, very breathable. Now you can see all these notches. The entire harness system is completely adjustable on these packs. So if I were to want to raise or lower where the pack is sitting on my back, I can pull 2 knobs in here and slide it down, which will move my shoulders. The waistband, same concept. You can pull the waistbands in and out and adjust where they are. So that is really cool. So if you load your pack up, not the same way you left on day 1, and day 2 it's not riding right, it feels wrong. Instead of unpacking, you can just raise and lower where the pack is sitting on your back and be done with it in seconds. So that is a cool feature. Now, retail on these guys, you know, they're about par with other premium pack brands. So you're looking at, I can't quite remember, I will pop up a correction on screen, but these guys are right around the $400 mark. Now this is the OG version, so the original when it came out years ago. The new updated version of the Atmos AGs, they have access zippers in the front of the pack. So instead of having to access all your gear from the top compartment down, You have side zippers where you can access, which may not sound like a big deal, but after years of toting this all over Ontario through so many different trails, that is a nice feature to have, because if your food or something is on the bottom that you need, a cable that you brought, and you have to dig through all your gear to get to it, it is a pain in the butt. So that's a great feature. I believe they are still priced about the same as the originals. But yeah, for me, well worth the money. I personally didn't actually buy this pack. This was a gift to me from my entire family. So my mom, my dad, and my 2 siblings bought this for me for Christmas years ago. I had been eyeballing this thing for a while, and they surprised me with it, which was awesome. So just like that, a backpack, $400 to $500 for a premium brand backpack makes your gear so expensive in a big hurry. Oh. So next on the docket, which I am super excited about, I have been looking at this tent for years, guys. I have hemmed and hawed about purchasing it. Now finally, my Nature Hike Taga 2 died, as you may know, on Nicole and I's hike in Superior. So finally pulled the trigger and bought this tent. I've been looking at it for a long time, as I said, and I have yet to pitch it, so this is the first time out. We're getting a bit too cold now for this kind of tent, but I'm dying to use it. So we have none other than the Dursten X-MID 2. So if you guys are familiar with tents at all, the X-MID 2 was designed by a man called Dan Dursten, who is a thru hiker. It's been out for quite a few years now. It is so hard to get here in Canada. I've been trying for a while. I have been watching the website, but they are always sold out. Luckily, I managed to get my hands on one. Now, the price was expensive, but really on par with other brands, such as like the Nemo Forte or the Big Agnes. This tent cost me, after, Canadian to American conversion and shipping and duties, right around the $700 mark. So the X-MID 2, folks. This comes in at 2.2 pounds. That is a pretty light tent. It is very roomy, but we're gonna find out just how roomy. So without further ado, I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way. Gonna slap this thing up. It can be challenging to pitch, apparently, so we're gonna see how it goes. I'm just guessing at pole heights right now, guys. I really don't know any idea what I'm doing. Interesting. All right, we got the exterior of the tent kind of put up, so it's a bit of a weird spot. So pitching this has definitely been a bit of a challenge. Now, that is one of the things a lot of people said about the X-MID 2, is that if you don't have level ground, you need extra paracord so you can kind of float the whole structure off the ground. I don't have any paracord, so it may not be pretty, but this is going to be home for the night. I'm going to throw this inner tent in, then slide the ground sheet underneath. Looks like we might actually get a bit of rain here shortly, so it's a learning experience. Alright guys, just here warming up a bit. So this is the Dursten X-MID 2. Lots of room in here. I quite like it, even though it's not pitched quite right. It could be tighter, this could be pulled a little more taut everywhere around, which would give me more space, but just me tonight, so no big deal. When Nicole and I are together, she will definitely be getting the side I'm sleeping on every time, because you can see this here. The design of the tent, whoever sleeps on this side, their face is going to be pretty close to the netting here. Now, you could sleep head to foot, so you could each have a different side that is open, but I prefer to sleep side by side. I head to foot, no. So yeah, that'll be Nicole's spot. Sorry, this will be Nicole's spot. That'll be my spot. And, yeah, we're gonna put this tent to a lot of use. So, as you can see, I am warming up in my sleeping bag. But my sleep system, you'll see I have a Thermarest Z-Fold ultralight. So this has an R value of 2.2. And then this is a new product I'm testing out. This is an Ecotek R value 4.5 sleeping mat. I do like the design of this sleeping mat. It's not a 4.5. I really don't think so. You know, I would probably call it an R3. But right there, like that sleeping pad is $100. So if you get into like the Nemo Tensor or, you know, the ultralight Thermarests, you are well above the $200 mark. So it does not take long to blow the bank for sure. Now, on par with the expensive trip we're doing, this beauty of a sleeping bag is the Nemo Forte 20. So this has a rating of -7 extreme, and that is quite nice for just about any time of year except for winter, when it starts dropping into the -10, -20s. This is all thanks to Nicole. Baby, I know you're watching. I'm so glad you recommended this bag, because I never would have bought one if you hadn't. So my girlfriend and I went on a Northern Superior hike, and I froze. She bought the ladies' version of the Nemo Forte and absolutely loved it so much that I went out and bought one when we got back. Because the design is super cool. So it is a spoon style sleeping bag, so not a mummy. It is wider. It's designed for people who like to sleep on their sides. There's a ton of room in this bag. Now, that being said, because it is so big, it does weigh heavier than most traditional hiking sleeping bags. So this comes in just over 3 pounds, which for the comfort is worth the weight, in my opinion. I absolutely love this. A couple cool features it has. If you're sleeping and you're getting too hot, these they call the thermal gills. So you can unzip them, and there is no insulation between your body and the outside of the bag. So no insulation in these spots. So it'll vent out all the heat in your bag if you're absolutely dying, which I've used before because I have been super hot in this bag. But these gills work great. It's got a nice little flap that you can put on your neck when you're sleeping, so that blocks drafts from coming down in through your hood. And the hood itself has a pocket to keep your pillow in, so your pillow doesn't slide all over the place, which is another great feature. So yeah, price tag on this guy, normally they're right around $300. So $275, I think. $280 is the retail price. So as you can see, it does not take long to blow a lot of money on a sleep system. Even this without an expensive sleeping pad, I'm looking at almost $500. Doesn't take long. Yeah, I'm just warming up a bit, having a couple sips of beer. And I think in a little bit here, we're just going to hop out, have a fire, and make some lunch/dinner. It's getting to be, 3:30. So yeah, it's just about dinner time. It gets dark super early here. You know, we're talking 4:30 it gets dark. Which, again, once it gets dark, I normally just crawl into the tent and relax and watch a movie and go to sleep. So let's get out there and have a fire, make some food, and enjoy the evening. Now, I'm always very cautious with fires, so we have hiked a little ways away from camp. I found a good kind of flat spot and went and found this rock just to put my stove on because I forgot my fire mat. Can never stress enough how important fire safety is when you're out, and just having a random fire without an established pit. So this should be plenty safe. We are going to be careful. Now, I have got to run back to the vehicle and get a battery bank so I can charge you guys up. I forgot to put it in my pack. So I'm just going to run off to my car and I will bring you guys back. Benefit to camping in the middle of nowhere: there's no other campers to steal all the good wood. Oh, poor guy. Almost got that inchworm. Come here, buddy. Off you go. Off you go. Come on. You're okay. You're gonna be okay. No matter how old I get, I can't kill anything, and I feel terrible when I do. I will reach into a fire to save a bug. That's just the kind of person I am. Cheers, my friends. All right, let's get some dinner going. I normally don't carry cans into the bush, but I am fresh out of all my freeze-dried camp foods. I need to put in another order, so we're just gonna do some soup with some bread and butter. Simple fare for a simple man. Ugh. Now, I would love to cook on the Solo stove, but my pots are too small for that. Now, the pots I am using are a titanium by Finesscity. So these guys, even for this set, was just under $100. I mean, they're okay, they're nothing special, they are very light, very strong, but, you know, it's just a titanium pot. Oh yeah. Now, you may be wondering why I'm wearing sneakers out on a hiking adventure. And that is because my boots have finally kicked the bucket. They did not survive my last hike through Algonquin Park. Which, you know, that's okay. They're quite a few years old now, and they've got roughly about 400k on them. You wouldn't know because they look almost brand new, like they're in such good condition, but when boots get older, the rubber on the sole hardens, just like winter tires, and they just lose their traction. I mean, I was skating all over Algonquin, so it's time to pick up a new pair. That, and I badly melted the whole front of the boot when I was trying to dry them out. Rookie mistake. Put it too close to the fire, melted my boot, so time for a new pair. Especially this time of year, my feet are cold. Alright guys, I'm not going to make you watch me eat, so I'll bring you back in a little while. Oh, is it ever quiet here? I love it. We've got sunset in roughly an hour now, and I have got 5 minutes of video time left. So apparently when you record in ultra high def at 60 frames per second, it absolutely demolishes your video card. I won't be making that mistake again if I'm going to continue shooting in ultra high def. I will have to start bringing extra memory cards with me. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed a difference in the quality of my videos since I started shooting in high def, but I think it makes a big difference, so we're going to stick with it. But you guys aren't really going to miss much. I'm going to sit by the fire, have a couple more beer, and then crawl into bed and sleep the night away. So thank you so much for watching. Cheers, folks. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to ask. I'd be happy to answer them for you. Next time, I promise the video will be a bit longer because I will remember to bring a video card. It's been fun.